Hey everybody, it is the shiny day of the week, the Wednesday of the new comics, and as you can see we're all back. Will is repping his very nice Zanadu t-shirt, which you can still get if you're a large or extra large. So, we will be getting more though. Anyway, we have lots of books this week, and honestly, a lot of books. You might have to take out a small loan, beat up some children, take their lunch money, whatever you gotta do to get your fix. So we're gonna let Morgan start, and he's gonna teach you how to
stalk
said
things,
children.
hasn't he?
No, not at all. No, you don't hang out at playgrounds and entice small children with candy.
I don't feel safe around this man.
Really?
No, not at all. But speaking of small
that's
children,
kinda what happens.
we actually have a book for kids over here from Boom's Boombox imprint. This is the first issue of Tyson Hess's Diesel. He's the artist behind the webcomic Boxer Hockey. He's done some work for Adventure Time. He did the Amazing World of Gumball comic that Boom Studios did. And now he's actually doing his own creator-owned series here. It's a 4-issue miniseries called Diesel, about D. Diesel, whose family for generations has owned this giant airship that is also, a city. So he's flying a city airship thing. But unfortunately, when the time comes for a new pilot to pilot it, she doesn't really get the job, because she's not really good at much of anything. So instead, her childhood rival is now piloting her family's airship, and she's picking up all the trash. It's a rough life.
That is a rough life.
Yeah, she discovers some weird newfound powers, she has a cute robot sidekick, and the art is phenomenal. Tyson does, insane facial expressions here. I knew Boxer Hockey for years as just that one comic with the really weird faces, and this pretty much lives up to that. It's got really nice art.
I know I can always count on Howard to back me up with the musical support, so I'm going to do the cue. Here we go. Journey to Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum.
Thank you, Howard, with the backup here. I am so excited. Not only is this Star Wars, this tells you what happens. He's really concerned over here for me. He's about to call in the storm.
Not for you, I'm concerned for myself.
He's
This is a
about to
health
call.
risk here, man.
Right? First he's got strange people, shady people over here, and then
exactly.
singing other
He's
men.
going to call in some stormtroopers. But you will want to put a bounty hunter on this one, because this is, not only is this awesome, this is set after the events of Return of the Jedi, when the second Death Star blew up. And this is kind of a prequel comic prologue that sets up the new movie, The Force Awakens. Not only is it cool for that reason, but it's Greg Rucka writing it. He's creating some new characters. He's kind of giving you what it's like to be living when the Empire shatters and the New Republic's being built. Kind of sets the stage with new heroes, new action. It's awesome. It's Star Wars. It's the first movie I ever saw in the theater as a kid, so I am super excited. And once again, you got Greg Rucka on it. So, Journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Shattered Empire.
Or Phase, if you like acronyms.
Right?
The fact that we're at Phase stage already for these Star Wars titles is
Phase?
like Force Awakens,
Shattered Empire.
It's Diamond loves
Yeah.
acronyms.
Chrome Stormtrooper Captain, played by the awesome chick on Game of Thrones. Just give her own comic book right now, if you will, and her own movie. Okay.
All right. I'm starting off this week schlepping for Image comic books, and there are 3 very high-profile trades that coming out this week. The first, Descender, Jeff Lemire,
beautiful.
Dustin Nguyen. Absolutely gorgeous. Dustin Nguyen doesn't always paint his stuff, but he painted this, and this is a glorious sci-fi book that is really just, it's very amazing. I mean, Jeff Lemire is always known for crafting good stories with kind of strange, surreal characters in, extraordinary circumstances and stuff, and he definitely likes his sci-fi, but Dustin Nguyen adds a really, really great level to this stuff. Also, this small book that you might have heard of is out, number 5. I know that all of you have been waiting a long, long time for it, and I get to touch it first. And then lastly, Chrononauts, the bromance comic for the ages. Mark Millar, Sean Murphy, friggin' gorgeous. Sean Murphy outdoes himself absolutely, especially this last issue in here, and it's only $10, which is way cheaper than buying those issues. So yeah. definitely get on this. And Tokyo Ghost that Sean Murphy is doing is coming soon.
That's gonna be
So make sure you read it.
And I've actually got a 4th image trade here for you. Once again, at that beautiful $10.99 or $9.99 price point. This is Steve Orlando and J.D. Faith's Virgil. It's an original graphic novel, so you haven't seen the first issue or the second issue or the 4th issue or anything on the racks before. This is the tale of what's called a queer exploitation revenge tale.
I like that.
About a gay police officer in Jamaica, which apparently is like one of the most homophobic places on the planet. I was not
Really?
aware of this, but I've never been to Jamaica, so I really wouldn't know.
Whoa.
But essentially it's this police officer who ends up being outed, and like the other police, they take his boyfriend and they beat the shit out of him, and he's got to go on this bloody revenge quest across the whole island. And the writer Steve Orlando, who's doing the Midnighter ongoing, another very high-profile gay book.
It's super violent.
Super
Now I know where
violent.
the-
He's
oh,
got
I
a
found our
taste for
guy.
that stuff, yeah. He's talking about how he's been watching like all kinds of like Foxy Brown and like Django Unchained, all kinds of like really just super hardcore,
Charles
unapologetic
Bronson-esque.
stuff.
Charles Bronson too.
Yeah, yeah. And J.D. Faith, the artist on this, did the first issue of Pop Goes the Icons crime series, Santa Hannibal, which was a super small run book, but honestly one of the best books of the year. So this is really, really cool to see.
Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo have been on an ongoing streak for Batman. It is the epic in the making. But if you had epic in the making, try saying that. But if you
Epic in the
have to
making?
take a short break between
said
the
it.
two guys, who do you get to fill in? But you get Brian Azzarello to help co-write, and you get Jock to do the art. This is actually a story set earlier in time. It is set just after the events of Zero Year. It's about the gangs. Batman is trying to solve a murder mystery in the Narrows involving teen gangs. And it's also kind of tied into a really big villain, new villain right now called Mr. Bloom, which is freaking, he's a scary freaking kind of villain. And so this all ties into that, but it's a very cool issue. It's really cool to see Jock drawing Batman and whole Gotham City and the big mystery. So a great issue of Batman this week.
And more from Image. The very, very popular Bitch Planet has returned. I know you were all waiting because it's been like 3 months, maybe, something like that since the last issue. Kelly Sue DeConnick, Valentine DeLandro, Clayton Clowes, Chris Peter, bringing you the story of a possible future of our society. Hard women doing hard time, serious grindhouse aspect with a kind of feminist twist. And I know you've all been waiting to find out after the last issue, which was Penny Royale's secret origin, getting back to the main storyline. And we have that here, featuring the last part of the first story arc, with lots of cool letters and stuff. I like that it has a bunch of letters. And some pinups from Chris Anka and Rod Reese, so there you go.
And we're going to jump over to DC here for the best Justice League book that you're not reading. This is Justice League United, which after the sort of misstep of the early Mike McKone, Jeff Lemire issues, has been revamped by Jeff Parker, and essentially at this point just Jeff Parker. He was working with Travel Foreman on the first 2 issues. He's with Paul Pelletier, who was doing his Aquaman run for this story, which features not just Frankenstein, not just the Creature Commandos, not just Steel and Robot Man, not just Enemy Ace, but also Sergeant Rock and Vandal Savage.
Whoa!
For a weird war story, if you've ever read
Whoa.
one. Yeah, really, really cool book there. Love the rotating roster for this series. And of course, it's also got, you know, series regulars Alana Strange and Stargirl, because you got to keep the regulars there.
That's right.
Let's keep the DC love going. This is a Harley Quinn road trip special. What's cool about this, Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti just keep turning out the fun with Harley Quinn, but this is kind of a Gotham City Sirens reunion as she is going on a crazy summer road trip. Summer's over, but it's continuing on in the DC universe. Why not? With Catwoman and Poison Ivy, and one of the special artists in this is Brett Blevins, who you remember from way back in the day. He had a great run on New Mutants, and he did an awesome old graphic novel for the Inhumans with Ann Nesenti that was really, really cool. I think it's called By Divine Right, Birth by Right. Anyway, it's an old classic. But back to what he's doing now. Awesome fun with Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy this week on a road trip.
And there's also 5 pages from local artist Moritat in there as well.
Thank you.
And the Image train keeps on going. Phonogram number 2. Kieran Gillen, Jamie McKelvey returning to the book that made them famous. In a world where music is magic, how do these phonomancers, which they're called, basically try not to screw up their life through dabbling into the dark arts? I read the first issue the other day, and for me this was a real kind of return to form for Kieran Gillen. His stuff for me has felt a little flat lately, and it made me smile. It was humorous, it was really fun, and it was still really preachy, but in that kind of like, I like to kind of bitch about music and I'm actually right about it type of way. But this is following Emily Astor, who is one of the main characters from the first Phonogram, and her dark history with her other half, thus the immaterial girl. But this is really good, and Jamie McKelvey does some great Aha tribute art in this from the amazing Aha music video that, you know, if you kids still watch music videos these days, I guess you might remember, but I don't know. Do they show music videos on TV anymore?
There's TV still?
Oh, that's right.
I wasn't aware of that.
I used to stay up for the world premiere of a certain video back in the day.
You know, actually, in the last issue of Phonogram, they have like the notes in the back. He actually had to put a note about the fuzzy crap that's on the screen. He's like, "This is what TVs used to look like, kids. Ask your parents."
And that's a little bit condescending.
That's what and then he also did one about cunnilingus, and he's like, "You probably shouldn't read this."
Wait a minute. You guys would have been really good VJs back in the day, by the way, if you even know what that is.
Oh yeah, man, video jockey. Man. They used to have
DJ.
Jesse, who was the crazy guy who they would like have him go and like get lost and do drugs, and then they would find him afterwards.
Minutes.
Yeah. And Kurt Loder was like the oldest guy in MTV. Yeah, what you know about MTV? Yo, MTV Raps.
Is this comics should smell good, or the old guy nostalgia about rap that nobody cares about anymore?
Take us back. Take us back into the present.
I hate all of you.
God, Morgan, you're hating this week, man. Can you feel the hate from that side?
No, dude.
Sam,
feel
can you
the
feel
love. The best comic in the world is out this week, Casey, and you know this.
I know.
We have finally, after a long wait since issue 2, the 3rd issue of The Legacy of Luther Strode. I don't.
He had to read it right away.
I was gonna read the first 3 pages, and I was like, oh no, but this is really good. And then I kept reading, and I got like halfway through, and I'm like, okay, I should really stop now. I don't want to see anyone die yet, because I know I was gonna flip the page and someone's head was about to blow off.
Aww.
I already saw like 2 kneecaps explode. Got like, 5 different grazing shots in. Got the bullets to the eyes, the ricochet shot in there. It's amazing. You've basically got Django from Django Unchained.
Yeah, it is Django.
But if he had like super murder powers instead of just regular murder powers.
Like at the end of the movie where it just goes all blood.
Exactly. It's basically that. Luther has been fighting a different one of Cain's disciples in every issue. The first one he had the twins, the second one he had this like giant Russian bear man in the middle of the forest, which was one of the most incredible fight scenes, and also a huge exposition scene. It's just that most people reading the book couldn't read it because it was all in Russian. But yeah, this has just been absolutely phenomenal from Justin Jordan, Trad Moore, and Philippe Sobrero. As always.
My final book this week is a continuation of the 50-year celebration of S.H.I.E.L.D. And if you're a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know that Agent Skye turned out to be actually Daisy. They altered her origin a little bit. She's actually an Inhuman, and everyone knows and loves her as Agent Quake from the Secret Warriors. This is a really cool story set a little bit back during the Bendis era, Avengers era, but it's a little bit more about her origins, her connections. It's a really cool mission with aliens and humans and the Avengers back in the day. Quake's a great character. She's going to fully become Quake on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, and I'm going to go back to talking about comics again before Morgan completely slaps me. We're not talking about comics. There we go.
And my final pick of the week, yes, it's an Image book. And while this might like just be under Strode, I'm sorry, Andrew, Tradmore, you got to give it to him. But friggin' Headlopper, Andrew McLean. This is amazing. Self-published by him about maybe over the past 2 years or so. Finally picked up by Image. This is what Brandon's Barbarian Revenge comic, if you've been reading any of the multiple Warheads, this is what we would get in real life. Norgal and his friggin' awesome blue severed head that talks to him and that he carries around, basically traverse this kind of, not really wasteland, but fantasy land, chopping things up with his giant sword. Yes, that's right, barbarian badassness. This is huge. The first two solo or the first two self-published issues plus a backup and some pinups, all for $5.99. And you can like roll it up. It's total back pocket adventure, and this just it makes me happy that this is out in the way it is. I'm so excited, and yeah, I'm so happy. Yay!
It's pretty dang cool.
It's pretty amazing. So if you need to get that Conan in your life, if you need that bestial, burly, badass barbarianness, that's right. Get your headlopper on. And I think that's about it, guys.
That's it.
That's
Looks
about
like
it. If you all want, tonight, again, is our monthly discussions from the long table. It will be at 6:30 to 8, and of course there will be treats, as usual. And I'll be, pushing comics on people and forcing them to buy them, as well as taking the treats. But yeah, thank you all, and we'll see you again next week.